Good afternoon, class. My name is Professor Neil Gordon. My qualifications to give this particular class today are I have a master's degree in crustacean dismemberment, and I have a PhD in the Maryland blue crab dissection. Now, this is going to be a very brief class to describe and explain how to take apart a Maryland blue crab that is steamed, covered with Old Bay seasoning, rock salt, and vinegar. Now, what I'm going to do is reach in and grab the claw because these are fairly hot. They just came out of the steamer. And as you can see, a generous amount of seasoning has been applied to the crab. This happens to be a #1 Maryland blue crab, which generally are male crabs with a length of 6 1/2 inches, and that is only on the shell. So basically what we're talking about is the little bit smaller size of the way these crabs run. You can get some where the claw would actually come out to about here. But crabs are judged in terms of the quality by the weight, not by the length. So what we're going to do is start out with one way to eat these, and that is to remove all appendages. So what you do is you start with the large claw, give some pressure at the knuckle or the joint, pull it out, and you may get, when you pull it out, some delicious crab meat that you can just do this with. Next, you will take the smaller legs, which as a rule don't have this much meat. But again, you never waste this. You just taste it right out. Now, breaking these open there is probably a very tiny amount of crab meat around the inside of these legs, but really not worth the effort to extract. So I'm just going to pull these out. Sometimes they break off. Now here's a nice piece right here. Just pull it off.
Not too far away from having a corn.
Aha! That's a very nice piece of lump meat. And we go to the other side and do the same procedure. You take the large piece, the claw off first, and look, more meat.
Very big.
Of course, the more meat you get out when you pull out an appendage, the less there is in the body.
That was a very big crab.
Look at that. There may be no meat left by the time I open the crab up.
Is that right, Professor?
Mm-hmm. All right, now, here comes the interesting part. You have the crab turned on its back. There's a little tab here, an appendage, which if you stick your finger under the end, pull it out, you can actually grasp the main body of the crab and pull this part out, take it off, and then you have the shell with the place to grab it. Put 2 fingers in, your forefinger, your middle finger, and just pull back. And it breaks off very cleanly. Now here's the only part where you really need to use your knife. And again, in the Maryland area, we have a plastic knife specifically made and shaped to clean a crab as you're preparing to eat it. And basically what you need to do is just go down and take off. These little ugly looking things are the crab's lungs. And I would say don't eat one of those because they don't taste very good, and they may have some toxicity to them, which would be unhealthy. So just kind of sweep down and push them aside.
That's nasty.
Now, the next part to clean off is basically where the poor fellow's head used to be. All the membranes there. So there's still a long piece here. I'm trying to get this just as clean as possible so there are no more icky things. All right, now, again, I was right. There is still meat in here, but a limited amount. I usually just split the body in half, and you'll see a lot of meat will fall out just by doing that. And actually, the more meat you get out before you break the crab open, the easier it is going to be to finish it, because the hardest part of crab eating is the chambers. The crab's body, as you can see, the shell, the hard shell, there are various chambers where each appendage was attached. And you can see each one of these markings here are separated chambers. So in order to get the meat out and extract it, you're going to have to break this down. And this is where you have to start picking, because the meat that's left is not easily withdrawn. So basically, if you take your knife and sort of help you pull any other excess meat out, you've got it. So I think this pretty much gives you the first lesson in eating Maryland crabs.
Got it?
Ah.
Thank you, Professor.